Good morning, everybody. I hope you are having an amazing day today. I'm super excited because I have finished all of my med school exams and I got my final marks back. So did we pass our first semester of med school? Yes, we did. More on that later though. I do want to sit down and talk to you guys about some really important things that I learned my first semester of med school and the top 5 most important things that I want to tell you guys about starting med school and your first semester of med school. But first, we have a fun day in store for us. To celebrate being done, Connor and I have booked a bit of a boat tour. Gonna do a little snorkeling, maybe see some sea turtles. That's like my dream. I think I'd cry if we actually saw them. And visit another kind of like private island close to us. No one lives there, it's like uninhabited, but you can go for the day. So yeah, I'm really excited. I definitely deserve it, guys, after that freaking semester. Oof. Thank God. I mean, it's not, I don't want to say it was a close call with me passing because my average is pretty good, but it felt like a close call. Like I was so stressed. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm really excited. Let's go have an amazing day and I will catch up with you when we get home and talk all about it. We just got home. I think I got a bit of a tan, which is awesome. But I'm gonna sit you down and talk to you. But that was just an amazing day. We had an amazing day. My first semester of med school, she was a journey. She was a struggle. I'm seriously so glad that I persevered and I finished and I did decent, and now I have learned so much that I'm going to apply towards my second semester, which let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now. The first thing that I want to talk about is to use supplementary resources. I talked about that a little bit in last week's vlog. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. But in university, you can kind of get away with just attending classes and lectures and using your lecture slides and studying from there. I don't think I read a single textbook in university. That's a lie. Like, I read some psychology textbooks because they explicitly said this chapter will be on the test. So if it was like specific things, then I would. But I wouldn't read textbooks that were just like recommended readings, basically. And I did pretty decent in undergrad, but in med school, it's a whole other story. You really can't just use what you're learning in class. That can be your primary resource, which is what I talked about in my other vlog. I mainly love to use what the professors are teaching me because the professors know what they're talking about and they know exactly the information that's going to be on your steps and your different board exams and stuff like that. But on top of that, I like to use different textbooks, not like your chunky boring textbooks, but more like condensed specific textbooks. So there's like the BRS textbooks, the Kaplan textbooks, the high yield textbooks, and the practice questions, and a lot of those are really good too. On top of that, I like to use online resources. So for anatomy, I loved KenHub and Teach Me Anatomy. Those were so good. Just YouTube videos like Ninja Nerd, Dirty Medicine, there's a bunch of them, but like basically just like YouTube the topic. It's so helpful. Figuring out how to study in med school is a whole different ball game, and I'm still kind of figuring it out. But I think I have a better idea of what I want to do second semester, which brings us to our second point, which is it's all kind of a learning curve. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about Anki a little bit. So Anki is an amazing resource because it uses spaced repetition, which has been scientifically proven to help you retain information. It's very good for med students. However, if you're not using it correctly, it becomes very, very overwhelming and kind of more of a hassle than it is a benefit. So I started off using Anki, and I would pretty much make like 10 Anki questions from like one slide, probably more, probably 20. And it would take me hours upon hours, and eventually it just kind of got too much. And I was finding the stuff I was memorizing wasn't even on the test. So really, if you're going to use Anki, focus on the high yield stuff. And it's hard to know what's high yield, but stuff that's high yield tends to show up in lecture and in the textbooks. So it's kind of just figuring it out. But yeah, I definitely have a different perspective on Anki going into my second semester. And I'm still going to use it, but I kind of like didn't use it too much in first semester just because I wasn't using it correctly. It got very overwhelming, but I think I have a better idea of what to do for second semester, and I'm going to start using it because it will be very helpful, especially for your step one. My third point is that you will make friends. You will. I was so stressed out. No one really knows each other in med school. It's very, very rare that you're going to be attending med school with a friend or anyone that you're like really acquainted with. People come from all different walks of life, different ages, different backgrounds, different life experiences, different careers, different locations. People from all around the world pretty much go to different med schools. I was stressed about this, but you will make friends. It's a little bit more difficult online, but you just kind of have to put yourself out there, because having a good core group of med students who you can talk to and rely on and vent to is super helpful. You know, obviously your parents and like your partner are very helpful too, but they're not really going through what you're going through, most likely. So also having an upper year student, oh my god. I had an MD5 ending their second year of med school helped me so much. Like, it literally helped me so much just having her as a resource, a contact. So yeah, if you have some kind of buddy program within your med school, it's super helpful. Sign up for that. The fourth thing I'm going to talk about is people are liars. People are gonna lie. Dr. House taught us that. Everyone lies, pretty much, especially when it comes to talking about med school, how they're doing in med school, and when people talk about their grades. One of the first things my buddy told me in med school was, do not tell anyone your grades. People will try to ask you, people will try to tell you, just don't talk about grades with people. Just nothing good can come from it, trust me. People will throw out how good they did on something. I got an 89 on this, and then someone's saying, oh my god, I got a 50 on this. And they're doing that for a multitude of reasons, unconsciously or not. It will get into your head. So just know, when people are talking about their grades and like openly saying how they got a 95, they're probably not telling the truth. And if they are, it does not affect you. So just focus on you, stay in your lane, but still have friends, and yeah, if that makes sense. Another thing people do is they love to say, oh, I barely studied for this. So when people say, oh, I barely studied for this, they're gonna do really well. Those are the people that do really well. So just Don't let it psych you out when you think, oh, well, they barely study, so I don't really need to study that much. No. Just don't listen. Don't do it. Don't do it. The last thing I want to talk about is probably the number one lesson that I learned in my first semester of med school is to have balance. Have balance in med school, because about halfway through first semester, I was really burnt out because all I was doing was med school. Sleeping, dreaming, eating, med school. That's all I did the first half of first semester, and it was brutal and exhausting, and you just can't do it that way. You need to make sure that you are having some time to yourself, to do what you love, to hang out with friends. You deserve a night off. You deserve a day off. It's okay. I felt so much guilt whenever I would take a Friday night off, but I need my Friday nights off. So I've just kind of worked that into my schedule, where after school on Friday, nothing. We're watching Netflix. We're going out to dinner. Not when we're in the middle of a pandemic, but you know what I mean. Med school is 4 years of your life, and for most people, it's in their 20s. So 4 years of your 20s that you're gonna spend only focused on one thing, like, I would go crazy. So you still need to enjoy your life. You still can enjoy your life. And that's something that I really want to focus on in my second semester, is if you manage your time effectively, you don't need to study 20 hours a day like they tell you. What a concept. You really don't. You can study for a good 4 hours a day and still do amazing and still have fun doing other things. Anyways, I've rambled on enough. Thank you so much for following my journey in my first semester of med school. Looking forward to killing it second semester, because I just feel like it is a blessing that I made it through first semester, and I'm not gonna make the same mistakes I did before. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time.